By this point of the Reaper War, the Reapers were present in over half of the inhabited galaxy to varying extents, with the Maroon Sea, Armstrong Nebula, and Nubian Expanse being the next human territories to fall, leaving much of the east side of the Attican Traverse to the Reapers. While not insurmountable, the Reapers were also suffering their own setbacks. Although Irune was based around connecting its settlements for easy trade, the Taurian hierarchy and the Krogan fought extensively to keep the Reapers from fully claiming it. On Dakuna, the Reapers were slowed down in their harvesting attempts simply through the way that Elcor society was structured, which left many of the species spread out across the planet rather than enclustered in urban centres. With the Vorcha, the Reapers merely chose to contain them to their homeworld and prevent them from joining the wider fight due to their resilience and on-the-fly adaptation, making them both extremely effective fighters and extremely difficult to pin down in the same ways that other species could be. However, this approach of containment only worked on Vorcha on Heshtok, whereas those in the wider galaxy had no such issues committing themselves to the cause. As conventional methods did little to stop the Reapers, strategists from various species were forced to find various, often failed alternative possibilities to fight the Reapers. Two significant but quickly rejected tactics were the use of ships as battering rams and the destruction of mass relays. The former was almost immediately ruled a failure due to safeguards too intrinsically linked to FTL drives to be disabled. That would prevent such attempts, along with the possibility that the Reapers, the ones responsible for the origin point of FTL technology, could use their own capabilities to nullify such a plan. On the other hand, the latter was ruled out due to the system-wide devastation that followed the destruction of the Alpha Relay, and how such a move would only slow down the Reapers as a whole, in turn inflicting higher damage on the allied species than on the Reapers. From helping Shepard on Psion to containing Seeker Swarm outbreaks in the Terminus systems, the N7 teams continued to fight across the galaxy and prove their worth, with their numbers beginning to incorporate even more unconventional fighters. One such example was the Alliance Infiltration Unit, an AI based on the mech design encountered by Shepard on Mars, replicated by the Systems Alliance. Unfortunately, wider implementation of cross-species tactics had much more mixed outcomes, made all the worse by the logistical nightmare of trying to match together so many different species and equipment. Although it did seem like at times that the procurement branches were actively siding with the Reapers.
Well, the Grau 7 is one of the best heavy shotguns available. We don't just give them to anyone.
I don't use shotguns ever.
While most planets were targeted for harvesting by the Reapers, some were destroyed entirely. Done so for either strategic reasons, such as planets with heavy anti-orbital defences, or for mere expediency, with planets that were deemed too low in population for harvesting. On some Asari planets, the inhabitants fled the major areas before the Reapers could land, and performed guerrilla operations against them, much like their fleets were doing in space. Unfortunately, Thessia was deemed too important for this strategy to work, with the Asari being pushed back at every turn as the Reapers landed and began harvesting.